Welcome to The Explainer. So, today we're breaking down a really interesting framework for personal freedom, and it's all based on the work of lifestyle coach Pete Kane. The big idea? That true freedom isn't some far off destination, it's actually a journey you can start on purpose. This classic idea is really at the heart of the freedom journey concept we're exploring. It's not about some giant overnight leap to a perfect life. It's about taking that very first intentional step, and then the next one, to build a life where you're in the driver's seat. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll get the big picture of this whole journey. Then we're going to dive into 6 key freedoms, looking at them in pairs. After that, we'll check out the engine that's making all this growth possible. And finally, we'll wrap it up by talking about what this all means for you. So the whole idea here is that real, complete freedom isn't just one thing. It's not just about money or just about time. It's about finding a balance across 6 very specific and connected parts of your life. Let's kick things off with the first 2 freedoms, which are really the foundation for everything else. According to Kane, this is all about getting control over your 2 most basic resources, your time and, of course, your money. First up is time freedom. This is a big one, right? It's simply the ability to have total control over your own day, to own your schedule instead of basically being a slave to somebody else's clock. Next is wealth freedom, and I want you to pay close attention to the definition here. This is not about being a millionaire. It's about setting up a system where the money that comes in automatically every month is enough to cover all your bills. That's what creates real peace of mind, what he calls unlimited limits. Your bases are covered, which frees you up to go after bigger things without that constant financial worry. So here's the kicker. To get those first 2 freedoms, you have to make a pretty major shift in your mindset. And Kane frames it as a choice between 2 totally different ways of living. Are you a creator or are you a consumer? And wow. This slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On the one hand, you've got the creator, who is actively building their own life. And on the other, you have the consumer, who, according to the data he cites, spends almost 7 hours every single day just watching and scrolling through the lives other people are creating. Okay, let's move on to the next pair of freedoms. These are all about where you do your thing in the world and the kind of work you actually choose to do. Location freedom is huge in today's world, right? It's this powerful idea that your zip code doesn't have to be tied to your income anymore. It's about using technology to build a business and a life that can operate from literally anywhere you want it to. And he makes this point with a pretty direct challenge. Basically, he argues that in our digital world, if you want to live and work from anywhere, the key is having a strong online presence. You need to be searchable to have a global reach. And then we've got creative freedom. This is all about lining up what you do for a living with your deepest passions. That sweet spot he calls your genius zone. Doing the kind of work you love so much, you'd probably do it for free. And as a really powerful personal example of this, Kane talks about how he created 9 different online courses after he had a stroke. He took this massive personal challenge and turned it into a creative act, working right from his own genius zone. So the last 2 freedoms in this whole framework, they get really personal. We're moving beyond work and money now to focus on your well-being and just living your life. Now we come to health freedom. And in this framework, this is described as the absolute, non-negotiable foundation for everything else. Because let's be real, if you don't have your health, none of the other freedoms really matter. And this visual just hits you, right? You can have this huge list of goals in your life. Career moves, family plans, places you want to see. But the second your health fails, that whole list just vanishes. And it gets replaced by one single, all-consuming priority, getting your health back. And finally, we have travel freedom. And listen, this isn't just about taking more vacations. It's a call to action. It's about having those meaningful experiences now, not putting them off until someday. Because as we all know, tomorrow is never a guarantee. So we've gone through the 6 freedoms, but you might be wondering, what's making this whole journey more possible today than ever before? Well, Kane points to this powerful engine of growth, basically a handful of huge trends that are paving the way for us. He identifies these 6 massive trends that are all kind of converging at once. Think about it. The rise of entrepreneurship means anyone can start a business. AI and the phone in your pocket give you the power to solve problems and reach a global audience. These forces and things like crypto and the focus on personal growth are the very things creating these new paths to freedom.
All right, so we've walked through the entire six-part framework and the trends that are powering it. Now let's bring this all back home and lock in the main takeaway.
Look, if there's one thing to really get from this whole framework, it's this holistic approach. It's telling us that real, lasting freedom isn't just about getting rich or having a flexible job. It's about consciously building a balanced, meaningful life across all of these different parts.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought. After looking at this whole six-part map, from your time and your money to your health and your experiences, what does that very first step on your freedom journey actually look like?